Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I feel like I haven't said this in forever, but I know it's not been that long. In today's video, we'll be talking about an important topic. Some things I wish I was told when I first went natural because it would have saved me I mean a lot of my hair length and volume. I so wish I could, but I can't change the past. However, I can write the future. And a part of doing things better is sharing what I know so others won't have to make the same silly mistakes I did. Made would have sound way better in that sentence, don't it? But anyways, we're moving on. The information / advice I'm about to provide you guys with will not just save you length and volume, but it will also help you to avoid unnecessary setbacks. I'm talking about the setbacks that you bring on yourself, not something that's out of your control. That said, let's get into the vegetable of the matter. No meat today. Vegetables are just as important as meat. In fact, you will be sick without them and your hair will look a mess without them. So I hope you are eating your vegetables. It's one of those things you might not like, but you still have to eat. Just like you might not like hearing this, but I still have to tell you. And that, my dearies, is to follow product instructions. Like I was, you might be one of the overdoor naturals that goes 6 hours when the product said 15 minutes. Now, I understand that you have things to do and a life to live, because that's why we do it, right? The dishes needs to be washed, the clothes needs to be hung out, and that sumptuous meal needs to be cooked. That's why we leave our conditioners in our hair for 6 hours or even the entire day / night, right? At least that's why I did it. But there comes a time when the effects of overdoing things catches up with you. Instructions are there to guide you ladies, not for us to ignore and mess up our hair. These instructions are tested, and any time beyond that time won't necessarily be any more beneficial. So to always be on the safe side, follow instructions. You might get away with it a lot of times, because I did until I didn't anymore. But that one time you don't could be that one time that you lose every single thing that you've been working so hard for, and I'm talking about your progress. So whenever you're using a product, pay keen attention to the instructions, and it doesn't have to be leaving something in over the amount of time that was stated, but it can also be mixing up a product because you didn't spend the time to look carefully on the product and read it thoroughly. A mistake like this can easily mess up your hair because the ingredients are different, which makes the purpose and use of the product very different. For example, Gorilla Glue Girl. Number 2 is do proper and thorough research on something before using it for the first time. Whether it's a product, tool, or a technique, research. Watch videos with other naturals with your hair type using it and see how it's working for their hair. Get all the pros and cons and take some time to decide if it's for you. And as I said recently in another video, experiment with it on a small section of your hair, so if anything goes wrong, it's just that one section you'll have to fix and not your entire head of hair. And number 3, it's better to use small amounts than to go crazy. This is especially when doing DIYs. DIYs can be tricky because majority of the time all you know is the benefits of the product. You don't know the correct measurements to use. You are literally your own little scientist in your kitchen, and your superpower is eyeballing ingredients, not actually knowing the precise, accurate measurement for anything. But the thing about that is it can become pretty risky really fast. And there's really no assurance in that game because You might see one YouTuber make rosemary water and she used an entire pack and it works well for her. But somebody else can try that and it messes their hair up. It doesn't make rosemary or cloves or even rice a bad ingredient. Of course, these ingredients are amazing for our hair. But even though they are, it doesn't mean we can or should use a lot of them when making our DIY concoctions. Some of these herbs are very potent and if used in excess might be more damaging than beneficial to our hair. Knowing what to combine is also important. For example, if an ingredient is drying, pairing it with another drying ingredient could cause severe dryness and breakage to our hair. So pairing with something moisturizing is of high importance to strike a balance. This all goes back to research, ladies. Know what you are using and how to use it. And if you don't know much about it, if all you know is just the benefits and you want to be your own little scientist and try something in your kitchen, I would say use a very small amount at first and watch to see how it's working for your hair, and then you can take it further from there. Number 4, leave trends alone. Remember the video I did about Lindsay Chris? If you checked out her channel, I'm sure you've seen that her routine is very repetitive. She used the same products and techniques over and over and over. I'm sure you get the point. People with long hair are very repetitive. Some might see it as boring, but what you see as boring is what makes them so able to grow and maintain their long, healthy hair. I don't want you to think that I'm telling you to never ever try new things. The reason why trends are so bad is not necessarily the ingredient, but how quick and intense they are. You jump on it without spending time to truly learn about the ingredients and you go all out, using it every day, every week because it promises something and you're after whatever that promise is. So you overuse the ingredient when it might be something you should only use every 2 months or even once every year. But everybody is doing it, right? So you just think it's okay until it either messes your hair up or someone comes out and say it dries the hair out or it causes breakage. You remember that old clove trend? Everybody was using cloves until it started to dry the hair out. And you know the thing about that is clove might not necessarily dry the hair out. It might just be the overuse of it that dries the hair out. I never really tried it like that, so I don't know, but I think I might just try it someday. However, my best advice is if you won't spend time to learn about what's trending before you try it, then leave trends alone because they will be more harmful than good for you when you lack proper information about them. Number 5 is something we all know, and personally I'm still working on this, which is to moisturize more. Earlier in my journey, I struggled with this. Then I sort of mastered it. Mastered the timing, the products, and everything. But after my moisture overload issue, which by the way had nothing to do with moisturizing often, but rather sleeping in my conditioner. Sounds like a cliche, but it's the truth. I started moisturizing way less, like once every 2 weeks, sometimes to make sure my hair bounces back quickly. That was mainly because I thought since I was going through this moisture overload thing, my hair didn't really need as much moisture. But I feel like it threw me off and messed up my routine and consistency. You all know how hard it is to be consistent when you have a life. You have responsibilities, a lot to do, a lot to think about. I think that messed up my consistency, the consistency I've tried to build for so long. So I find that I slack off a lot these days and have to be more intentional about reminding myself to moisturize my hair. Weird, right? But it happens. Forgetting to moisturize when I need to has made it so hard for me to retain length, because my ends are just a mess whenever I don't moisturize when I should. I'm talking knots and more knots. And if you know knots, you know that you have to cut them out, because fortunately they don't believe in divorce. Once they get married, they stay married. But anyways, that's it for the advice, the information. I hope this video helps you guys, and please remember to subscribe, remember to like, remember to share, remember to do all the things that will make this channel grow, because when I grow, you grow. We grow together.